So I always find it interesting when there is a contrast between how things are supposed to be like in life, like things that sound easy on paper or things that are promised to be easy on paper, and the actual reality that normal everyday people face with trying to fix their problems and all kinds of problems that arise from things being not as easy as they seem. So this is a bit of a specific topic, but for me, it's quite important. So there's this thing called barefoot shoes, which are essentially our shoes that would require you to no, that would I mean would enable you to walk more naturally because the soles are much thinner, and then you also generally you have to learn a technique to learn in a different way, and this tends to solve a lot of problems people have with feet. And that's great. And this whole industry has pretty much become like an imitation of the normal shoe industry. Like there's so many different brands, and for every brand you have so many different choices in terms of how they look like or how fashionable they are. But the problem that I face, I've been facing this for many years, is that there are actually like no practical solutions for people who have feet that are like difficult with difficult shapes. Like for example, I have a very long foot, so a big foot size, but my foot is also very thin, like slender, and I have a very big like front toe. So front toe. I mean the big toe, the first toe is bigger than normal. So I just keep trying all this stuff. Like I actually have to pay like money to return these products because these are not like Nikes or Adidas. This like these shops are generally smaller that sell these kind of things. Um, and the problem is I just run into the same limitations every time. Like for example, there's no space here, or when I'm like I have a bit of a sensibility here in the back, and sometimes in the back these also with normal shoes this can be very tough, this part. Actually in this case it's not, but I just don't fit this. And um, like they don't have, like for example, they don't usually have half sizes, and even when they do, like I still run into trouble with the way like these shoes are essentially made for the masses in a sense. And now you may ask yourself, like, what am I actually criticizing? um, well, what I'm criticizing is that no matter which brand you buy, it just feels like these people are just imitating normal shoes too much, and they don't think about their target audience, which is in part just people who are already healthy, and they want to try something new. They want to walk differently, and some people may have perfectly like normal shaped feet, and they just buy one of these and fits perfectly. But you know, the reality is that when I tried this, so this is a Skinner's brand, so it's kind of a sock. So in theory, this sounds like really great. Like it's just a sock, so why wouldn't it fit? But when I read reviews of this thing, I just see people complain about, for example, when there's no middle size, or and it's like you can do all kind of stuff with these, like they're very flexible in a sense, but they're not flexible as the like the foot, the actual wear is concerned. They're not flexible. So if there's something, for example, with my toe that doesn't fit here, then you're pretty much fucked. And what this also has is like this part, um, when it like when it like I have two sizes here, and there's the only two choices I had. Like one is a bit like too small, the other is too big. But this one is mostly too small because of this big toe. For the rest, it's kind of okay. But then I noticed that this part, this is just like there's so much tension on this. Um, so it does not feel like a sock. Like when normally, if I could, I would just go and wear socks outside. But the point is, like with these things, like these barefoot shoes, is that like the concept sounds so simple, and then they do all kinds of things to make these shoes the materials, the quality. Like they do so many things that just make these shoes not a serious medical alternative for people who don't have like the standard food, so to say. And this is extremely frustrating. And for example, there's this brand in the Netherlands. It's a German brand, but what gets sold here a lot is a brand called Leguano or Leguano, however you pronounce it. So it's supposed to be Spanish, but they like they have different like concepts of shoes, but the fit is always the same. And if you don't match their fit, then you're just fucked. And that's the problem I run in all the time. So there's one brand that promises to be like almost just socks. So I can't wait to try that, but it's unfortunately out of stock. But like I tried something like this. And even this, somehow it could be so simple. And I asked an expert on food therapy and barefoot shoes about this, and he says like often it's these type of things people have the most problem with. Like, but how can this be so hard? And of course, I don't know anything about shoes in essence. So like it's kind of hard for me to make this video and criticize things. But what I usually do, like I just wear this most of the time. So these are actually like normal commercial flip-flops, and they have quite a thick sole, and I wish they were a lot thinner. But this is just pretty much all I can do. And yes, that's just it's just painful in a way. So what I felt I needed to add here is that, like, I'll admit that it's easy for me to criticize these manufacturers because I don't know anything about how these shoes are made. And it's entirely possible that you cannot just create something that, for example, is like a sock, but also protects your feet from sharp objects, for example. But I think the essence of my video and this story is that this whole barefoot concept is like the best barefoot situation if you're just walking on your bare feet. And that's what I do sometimes. And in nature, I like walking on my bare feet. And I don't have like the exact right technique I should use for it. But that's also because I haven't been able to find better shoes that for my daily walks, for example, when I just walk on asphalt and places where I don't really want to walk with my bare feet because they get really dirty. I mean, you can do it, but then you have to wash them and everything. But it just surprises me that it's so like you have all these like these incredible this incredible variety of shoes that they create, but something that just gets close to the essence of walking on your bare feet. It's so like it seems like nobody ever thought of that. And for like an outsider of me, it just seems like why can't it just be a little bit more straightforward? And like I'm a person who I hate shoes. Like I hate having this feeling like around my feet. And if I could just walk on my bare feet all the time, I would probably do that. Maybe I should move to some tropical country where they don't have pollution, because wherever you walk, your feet will probably become dirty. Like if you're in a place where other people are, in a city, whatever. But if I'm walking on the beach, it tends to be fine. But yeah, so I just wanted to say, like, it's really easy to criticize, but I just don't understand why, for example, you can look on the whole market, you're not gonna find anything that's just as simple as this with a very thin sole. Like nobody ever thinks of that. So I'm not a business guy, so I'm not gonna try to do that. But if it's an idea for you, please do, because I know there are people out there who, like me, who have trouble with this kind of stuff.